Hey guys! Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this adorable cupcake squishy from the movie Trolls.
Cupcake?
So it's really slow rising and scented like vanilla, so it smells like an actual vanilla cupcake, which I think is super cool, and I'm really excited to show you all how to make it, so without further ado, let's just get started. First, I'm going to make the cupcake base. So I'm cutting a piece of foam, and I'm using memory foam by the way, into a rough circular shape. And then I'm going to cut inwards sort of at a slant, since one end of the cupcake base needs to be smaller than the other end. And since the cupcake base is a little tall right now, I'm going to cut it down so it's a bit shorter. And then I'm just going to continue trimming the foam until it has a smooth surface. Once I'm happy with the cupcake base, I'm going to use it to size how big the top of the cupcake should be. So I'm going to take another piece of memory foam and cut it into a circle, and then I'm going to start rounding off the edges, and the shape that you want to achieve is basically a rounded dome. And don't forget to round off the bottom edge. So now that the top portion is complete, I can see whether it's proportional to the cupcake base, and you can definitely see how everything is starting to come together. But there's still one more element to go, and that is the cherry on top. So I'm taking a scrap piece of foam and trimming it until I get a super round shape. And here is the finished shape, and again, I'm just placing it onto the cupcake to confirm whether it's the right size, and I think everything looks pretty good, so I'm going to move on to painting everything. So the type of paint I'm using is puffy paint, also known as dimensional fabric paint. So to paint the cupcake base, I'm going to mix red and white until I achieve a hot pink color. And I'm just using a toothpick as my mixing tool, but you can use a popsicle stick or a paintbrush if you'd like. And to apply the paint to the foam, I recommend wearing gloves to stop the puffy paint from getting on your hands. To paint the cupcake top, I'm going to use the leftover paint and add some more white in order to achieve a lighter, more pastel pink. And this is just going to be the first coat of paint, by the way. Now to stick the two pieces together, I'm going to actually use the rest of the puffy paint and just spread it onto the cupcake base. And puffy paint actually works really well as a glue, but of course you can use regular glue if you'd like to. And I'm just going to carefully position it in the center. So once I've done that, I'm going to paint the second layer onto the cupcake top, and I'm adding this vanilla fragrance oil, and this stuff is really strong, and in fact 4 drops is a little much, so you really only need a couple of drops for the scent to come through. Now, while the paint is still wet, I'm going to add this sparkly iridescent glitter all over the top of the cupcake. After that, I'm simply going to paint the cherry red. So this cupcake has dried for several hours, and now I'm going to add the icing detail. So I'm mixing some green, dark blue, and white paint together to create a nice turquoise shade. And I'm just going to add it on top and basically make a flower shape with 6 petals. And in this case, a toothpick works really well for fine details. And finally, before the paint dries, I'm going to add the cherry on top. So here is the finished vanilla-scented cupcake squishy, inspired by Trolls, and it's so slow rising and fun to squish, so I hope you all can give this DIY a try.
Hello, I'm Shayna Sharp, and today I'm going to make some of my favorite characters from Trolls. Today we're going to be making Poppy, Branch, Tiny Diamond, and Bridget the Bergen. Woo! Let's get started, because you know what they say, Trolls just want to have fun.
'Cause trolls, they want to have fun.
We're going to start off with Queen Poppy, the most cheerful, optimistic leader of all time.
I think everyone deserves to be happy.
I've got these balloons ready for her. This I will use to make her face, her hair, her dress, and even the flowers on her crown. I'm going to start with her head. This balloon will be the color of her hair, and this the color of her face. I'm going to tie the 2 balloons together because your hair is attached to your face. These parts of the balloons, they're a little extra, so I'm going to rip them off, and we'll get rid of it. Get out of here, that part. Now I'm going to start on her dress, so I'll use this blue color here. I'll put a couple bubbles down here. There we go. And tuck these bubbles through the legs. And now we'll wrap a skirt around her. Poppy's skirt sort of changes color from a darker blue, and then it fades to a paler blue underneath. Look how cute she's coming out. Arms. Raise your hand if you love Trolls. It's not Queen Poppy until we give her hair and a face. There, that's kind of troll nose shaped. And there's Queen Poppy, at least without a face. Doing the eyelashes here. Look at that. Now I'll put on the parts of her hair that go in front of her face and the flower headband. I'll tie this one a little puffy, and that will tuck in right behind her hair here. Ah, yay! Look how cute she is! I really love Queen Poppy because she loves to have fun, she loves to party, she loves to be optimistic, but she also takes her responsibility very seriously, and she cares deeply about the whole Trolls community.
Yep.
We finished Queen Poppy, and she looks so cute, but she looks a little lonely, right? Should we give her a friend? Maybe her best friend? Maybe Branch?
Okay, I'll help, but I'm still not singing.
I have all the balloons handy here to make Branch. It's gonna be Branch-tastic. So we're gonna use this nice turquoisey blue for Branch's skin color and this dark, deep blue for his hair. Most of the Trolls have ears that point up, but Branch's ears almost go straight out and even a little bit of a downturn. Great. He wears brown shorts. Perfect. Very cute.
Wait. What's your plan?
I'm going to give Branch crossed arms. He is unimpressed. Trying to bend the balloon. Perfect, like that. Stretch it through his body. We've got Branch here. He's crossing his arms, but I want to see a little more of his vest over the front of his shoulders, so I'm going to add this really skinny little green balloon and add some details. And there we go. And this will be Branch's nose. Looking good. Now I need to do Branch's hair, which just kind of goes straight up. Ooh, that's a long one. Voila, the hair it is. Perfect. But we do need a face. Branch tends to have his eyes a little less wide open. He's a more skeptical troll. And of course, that little white sparkle in the eye. I don't know why, but it makes a huge difference. There we have Poppy and Branch. If ever there were two friends who were opposites, it would be these two. I like to think that they both bring out the best in each other. In Trolls World Tour, we were introduced to the newest member of the Trolls family, Tiny Diamond.
Tiny Diamond is my name.
His whole body's made of glitter, and he'll throw it in your face. I've selected this color palette to make our tiny friend. It won't be glitter balloons, but it will be shiny. Now, as you can probably guess, Tiny Diamond's going to be a bit smaller than our previous trolls. Little tiny cutie face. I'm going to make a little loop here, and that will be Tiny Diamond's body. And try and make it a little thicker at the bottom of the balloon so he has a little tummy bulge. Also need to give him legs and arms. I'll thread this leg through the loop body and then twist that back into the feet. And there's his tummy and his legs. Look how long his arms are. Ah! This part we don't need. Here we go, Tiny Diamond's tiny body. I need to add his head on. Excellent. Tiny Diamond is very style conscious and wouldn't be seen without his signature yellow glasses. They're not my size. Of course, glasses rest on one's nose, so I've got a tiny green balloon for Tiny Diamonds. Perfect. But we are missing something in the hair department. Oh my gosh, he's so cute! Look at this! I do need to draw on the eyes. This time I'm going to draw them on the lenses of his glasses. And a little smile. There he is. Tiny Diamond! Alright, so far, so adorable. But let's take a break from trolls and try our hands at making a Bergen.
The Bergens are coming! Ah!
Bridget, she has a huge character arc. She changes, she takes risks, she learns how to love, she learns how to sing and dance. Let's make Bridget. Bergens are bigger than trolls, so I'm going to need some bigger balloons. Yes! It's a little tricky to twist with bigger balloons. Nice, Bridget. High five. Bridget wears these adorable little pink buckle shoes on white stockings. So I'm going to wrap a skinny pink balloon around the edge of the shoe. Then I'm going to use another skinny balloon for her buckle. Too cute. 1, 2. Buckle my shoe. Now that we've got her body attached, we need to work on her face. Watch. I'm starting to see Bridget's smiling face here. Now we need 2 little pieces of hair coming down over her forehead and her crown. And here is our adorable Bridget hair. Do you think I could pull this off? So cute! But you do need eyes. It wouldn't be Bridget's face if it didn't have that beautiful toothy grin. Aw, now that's the Bridget we know and love. She's completely done. Queen Bridget of the Bergens. That's it for our friends from Trolls. We've got Queen Poppy, Queen Bridget, Tiny Diamond, and Branch. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. And oh, would you look at that? It's hug time. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
If you got nothing to do, well, I've got a couple of tricks for you. So take a look at these vids, 'cause it's life hacks for kids. Hi, I'm Sunny, and today's episode is Trollmendous Troll Hacks. It's troll time! My sister Gidget and I are literally counting down the minutes until we go see the movie.
Is it time yet?
Not yet, but it's getting pretty close, Gidget.
Who's Gidget? I'm Poppy. Bye, Branch!
Okay, bye Poppy. Let's make time fly with some trendy troll hacks. I'll start with one of Gidget's favorite movie characters, Poppy. I'll call it Poppy's Pop-Up Scrapbook Box. For this, you'll need different colored cardstock sheet squares. I made mine about 8 1/4 by 8 1/4 inches, scissors, a ruler, a marker, a pencil, a glue stick, hot glue, photos, and colorful paper. First, make 2 horizontal lines to divide the paper into thirds. Then make 2 vertical lines to do the same thing. Cut out each corner edge square, leaving a plus shape. Repeat this 2 more times on 2 different colors of paper. Fold the edges up on each plus. Glue the center of each plus shape together. Glue on the pictures to each square. Next, use the plus as a guide to make a box shape on a new piece of paper. Now pinch and fold the corners in to make the box sides. Hot glue the corners together. Trim the top to make it even if you need to. This is the bottom of the box. Decorate it. Use this bottom to measure and create the lid. Make sure the lid is slightly bigger than the box. Trim the edges shorter for the lid and decorate. A scrapbook in a box. Eye-popping.
Did you say Poppy?
No, I said popping.
Well, I'm popping out of here. Bye, Branch.
Okay. In the Trolls movie, Poppy carries around pictures of her buddies in a special frame. So, I'm hacking my own version, the folding friendship frame. For this, you'll need white thin cardboard, scissors, hot glue, colorful paper, photos, a hole punch, and twine. Cut out a long rectangle out of the cardboard. Then fold it back and forth into small equal sections. Next, cut 2 small rectangles out of the colorful paper and glue onto each of the ends of the folded cardboard. Punch a hole into the center side edge of the front piece and into the back piece. Glue the pictures to each empty folded square. Finally, tie the twine through the holes and around the folded frame to close. Now I can keep my friends with me wherever I go.
Did you say it's time to go?
Time for that final troll hack. The trolls wear special hug time friendship bracelets, so let's hack our own special troll jewelry. My hack time hug it out medallion. For this you'll need an old necklace, Mod Podge, scissors, a brush, an old medallion, hot glue, glitter, ribbon, and a cereal box. I'm using my mom's old necklace that the stone fell out of. Paint a layer of Mod Podge onto the center of the necklace. Then, sprinkle glitter. After it dries, paint another layer of Mod Podge over the glitter and set aside. Next, cut out a large rectangle from a cereal box. Roll the rectangle into a tube shape and hot glue the edge. Then fold the sides inward to close like this. Finally, place the necklace on an old chain and put it inside the box. Tie a pretty ribbon around it to finish it off. Poppy!
Is it time yet?
Not quite, but it is hug it out time.
Wow, thanks, Grant.
I hope you liked making these tremendous troll hacks. Thanks for watching, friends. See you next time on Life Hacks for Kids.
Hey guys! Today I'm going to show you how to make this tiny diamond squishy from the movie Trolls.
Yeah, yeah, Tiny Diamond is my name. Come straight from my daddy's name. My body's made of glitter, and I'll throw it in your face.
The first thing we're going to make is the head. So you'll be needing a piece of memory foam that is 2 by 2 inches. And you want to cut that into the shape of a ball. Then you want to flatten the top of the head, and that's because we're going to be putting another piece of foam on top. Next, I got another 2 by 2 inch piece of memory foam, and I'm going to draw out where the hairline is. Then I'm going to cut that portion out, and this will just help make it easier to glue down the hair. You can see that the two pieces fit together perfectly now. Then I'm going to give a little texture to the hair, and to do this, all you have to do is cut a bunch of lines. I use Fabric Fusion to glue down the hair, but you can also use puffy paint. Next, for the ears, you want to cut a shape of a heart and cut it in half. I'm going to glue these down with puffy paint. The body is going to be 2 inches by 1.5, and I'm going to cut this into a cylinder. To shape the legs, you want to cut out the middle portion. Then I'm going to cut a dent in between the body and the legs so that the legs are more visible. To do this, all you have to do is cut in a U shape, and you could trim down the legs a little bit if necessary. Next, I'm going to create the feet, and to do that, I cut out a portion from the front and a portion from the back. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So this is how the body looks right now, and as you can see, the body is still a little too big, so I'm going to trim that down. For the finishing touches of the body, I'm going to create the toes. After you're finished shaping the body, you can glue that to the head. I also created the arms and glued those on. To make the arms, you want to cut 2 ovals and cut in a diagonal line. For the nose, I drew it out with Sharpie, and then I cut that out. Now it's time to paint your squishy, so I'm going to paint this entire thing silver. I'm using a metallic silver color, but if you don't have this color, you can also mix black and white to create gray. After the first layer dried, I also added a second coat. This step is optional, but for the last coat, I'm using a glitter puffy paint, which is just silver paint with glitter. Tiny Diamond is very sparkly, so this gives a nice finishing touch. Then you want to paint the hair white. I'm going to paint the nose green and then stick that on with silver puffy paint. Now we're going to paint the face. So for the eyes, you want to paint 2 white circles. After that dries, you want to paint 2 smaller black circles. And at this point, you can also draw the mouth and the eyebrows. And finally, you want to finish the eyes with 2 white dots. I also drew the tooth and earrings with the white puffy paint. The final step is to make the glasses, so I'm using a transparent binder folder, and I'm going to draw 2 squares for the glasses and cut that out with scissors. You also want to cut out a small arch on the bottom of the glasses so that it can fit on top of the nose. And finally, we have our finished tiny diamond squishy. It's very sparkly from the glitter paint and slow rising as well. Hey guys! Today we are doing a DIY squishy of Queen Barb's pet bat Debbie.
There you go. Calm down. Who's a good boy?
What is that thing?
This has a super soft texture because of the wool, and it's also slow rising. So let's get started with the tutorial now. First, I'm cutting a block of memory foam that is about 4 by 4 inches into the shape of a ball. If you start with the cube and cut around the 4 corners, you should eventually get a circle. After cutting the ball shape, we're going to move on to the other body parts. It will be easier to trace out the body parts using a Sharpie. After you draw out all the parts, you want to cut them out. If your foam is thick like mine, you can do a little trick, which is to cut the foam in half, and you will create 2 body parts. You can see that I created 2 feet now. So here are all the body parts cut out. I have the bat wings, the feet, eyes, and the nose and mouth. Now that all the pieces are ready, I'm going to glue it down with white puffy paint. You can also glue it down with school glue, but I recommend puffy paint because it dries a lot softer. After you assemble all your pieces, you want to let that dry for a day. Now I'm going to paint a base coat with white puffy paint. You also want to wait a day for this to dry, but if you want to speed up the process, you can dry it with a fan or hair dryer. If you want your squishy to be extra slow rising, you want to paint at least 3 layers of puffy paint. Now for my second layer, I'm going to paint it with the actual colors of Debbie the Bat. You can poke a toothpick into your squishy to make it easier to paint. I painted the feet with a grayish purple color. You also want to use the same color for the eyes, nose, and mouth. After the purple color dries, you can go ahead and start with the second layer of the face. Then I painted the wings black. I added a pink layer to the eyes and then a black and light blue color to the mouth. For the teeth, I squeezed out dots of puffy paint and used a smaller paintbrush to create the details. Then you want to use red and white puffy paint to finish up Debbie's eyes. This is how Debbie looks so far. I only used 2 coats of white puffy paint. Now I'm going to add Debbie's fur, and to do this you will be needing felting wool. Felting wool is a type of yarn that you can find online or at your local craft store. You want to cut the felting wool into smaller pieces so that it's easier to glue. You will also be needing fabric fusion, which is a fabric glue. I'm going to spread the fabric fusion glue onto my squishy and then gently press the felting wool against the foam.
This part is a little tedious and will take you a long time, but you want to make sure to put each piece carefully onto the squishy so it doesn't fall out later on. Also, don't worry if the wool is too long. You can always trim the wool after you glue down all the pieces. Now, Debbie the Bat has too much fur, so I'm going to trim down the fur with scissors. After that, you have your finished Debbie the Bat squishy. You can adjust the squishiness of your foam by adding less paint or more paint if you want it to be slow rising.
It's perfect! Prince D, you want to take her for a spin?
Yeah, no.
Alright, here I am!
With these DIY cases, you can bring your favorite trolls with you wherever you go.
I'm so glad you're coming with us.
Get ready to call up all your friends and tell them about this Queen Poppy case.
Hello.
Hello, it's me!
I'm covering the base of my phone case in poppy pink felt. Use crafting glue or any sticky adhesive. Now it's time to put my crafting skills to the test.
Okay, people, here we go!
This fabric is just her color. Let's style these locks into bangs like Poppy's. Now that's a hair-tastic do. I'm using black and white felt to cut out shapes for Poppy's eyes. I'll attach them to the bottom part of the case so it looks like she's peeking at us. Let's add some regal flair by making Queen Poppy's crown.
Being a good queen is the most important thing in the world to me.
Every queen needs a little sparkle, so I always make sure to have some gems, pom-poms, and doodads on hand. Let's give this crown a little razzle-dazzle with some glittery accents. Now Queen Poppy is available for phone calls. For our next phone case, get ready to shine like Tiny Diamond. Let's bedazzle this phone case so it's ready to rock and roll.
Look, Daddy, I'm a rock star.
I'm adding some serious bling to this case to mimic his shiny complexion.
My whole body's made of glitter, and I'll throw it in your face.
I'm doing smaller rhinestones along the edges first to create a border. Then I'm adding rhinestones in various shapes and sizes to give our case a cool, funky texture. Dazzling! This case is blinding. Time to add Tiny Diamond's signature yellow shades. This little rapper has two types of flow, with his raps and with his hair. Now you can carry Tiny Diamond with you wherever you go.
Hold me, Daddy.
If you've got nothing to do, well, I've got a couple of tricks for you. So take a look at these vids, 'cause it's life hacks for kids.
Hey there, Tricky Trollsters! Today we're celebrating the hip-hop happening, World of Trolls. We have some rainbow sprinkle colored hacks for you and all your happiest troll friends, so you can have the best summer ever.
Oh, snap.
Let's make my tricked out summertime trolls hacks. Summer can get hot, but with my Trolltastic headband, you can put your hair up and out of the way. Let's make my totally tie-dye headband. For this you'll need gloves, fabric dye and squeeze bottles. I chose purple, pink, and teal. Scissors, a Ziploc bag, rubber bands, a white t-shirt, and some cardboard. First, lay out your cardboard. This can help keep your surface clean. Lay your t-shirt flat. Now I'm going to show you a very specific tie-dye technique. Take your pointer finger and thumb and squeeze the center of your t-shirt. Now twist until it becomes a spiral, like this. Wrap your rubber bands around one at a time, like this. This should be 6 sections. Squeeze some of your first color into one section, then into the section directly across. Now do the same with your purple dye and 2 new sections. Now repeat with your teal dye. Put your shirt into a Ziploc bag and let it sit overnight. Take your shirt out of your Ziploc bag and let it dry. Once dry, cut the shirt up the middle. Now use your thumb to measure a 2-inch strip. Make 2. Pull on the strip so the fabric rolls. Repeat for the second strip. Lay one strip out with the rolls facing upwards and lay the other strip on top with the rolls facing down to make an X. Now pick up the ends of the bottom strip. Measure it around your head and tie. Now I'm ready to head to any troll summer party, but no troll party is complete without some glitter to pop their style. That's why my next hack is my Lady Glitter Sparkles glasses. For this you'll need masking tape, bright nail polish, glitter nail polish, and shades. Use your masking tape to cover both sides of the lenses. I can't see anything. Use your yellow nail polish and paint the top left corner of your sunglasses. Take your pink nail polish and paint either side of the yellow to start covering the rim. Now add your turquoise. Alternate colors like this until the rims of the glasses are completely covered. Let them dry for about 20 minutes. Now paint alternating stripes on the sides of the sunglasses. Let the sides dry for another 20 minutes. Now paint the insides of the sunglasses pink. Now add glitter. Let that dry for, yes, another 20 minutes. Finally, remove the tape. Whoa. Dude, life isn't always cupcakes and rainbows, but sometimes it sure looks like it. For my final hack, I'm going to make the perfect troll summer party accessory. Let's make my Princess Poppy's party flower lights. For this you'll need fake flowers, scissors, some colored Sharpies, 4 different colored cupcake lighters, and stringed lights. Pull off the leaves of your fake flowers. Then rip off the little plastic piece and put those aside. Stack 4 cupcake liners, 1 of each color. Fold it once, then cut off the rim like this. Stack 4 more. Fold these 3 times.
Now cut the edges like this. It should look like this. These are your petals. Stack 4 more cupcake liners. First, fold them once and trim the rim like we did for the first stack. Then fold that 3 times. And cut into petals like the second stack. Turn your liners inside out and mix and match some more. So there are 3 colors per stack. Grab your string lights. Put your fake leaves around the bulb. Then use the bulb to poke a hole through a stack of liners. Now take a colored Sharpie and color in the bulb. Repeat these steps for the rest of the lights, alternating colors of the Sharpies. The perfect accessory for any summertime celebration or a summer night just hanging with your friends. There you have it. 3 terrifically troll-approved summertime hacks.
Hey, I'm Lizzie. I love the holidays, and I'm inspired by the trolls to celebrate.
And let the gift giving come in!
Today, I'm going to be making a glitter bath bomb for my mom, who loves the holiday season as much as the trolls do.
'Tis the season.
This glitter bath bomb will also make sure she thinks of her favorite Trolls character, whose body is covered in glitter.
Let Tiny help you out.
Tiny Diamond. Let's get started. First, I'm gonna put on some gloves because I don't want to get all of these ingredients all over my hands. Our first ingredient is baking soda. And now I'm going to put it in. Ooh, it looks like snow. It's so pretty. So now I need a mash to get rid of all the chunks because the bath bomb doesn't fizz as well. Our next ingredient is citric acid. Woo! There, now it's like the ice of the snow. Ooh, this is so fun to mix. Now again, you have to mush the big chunks. Citric acid is what makes the bath bombs fizz. So this is a ingredient we really need.
All right.
We're going to add some mica powder and some edible glitter to make this sparkle. Opal mica. And I'm going to have 1 teaspoon of that. I'm doing it over the bowl so it doesn't spill over the table. There, that's enough. I'll just pour that in real quick. Mica is what makes our bath bombs colorful and shiny, and you can use any color. Now, I have some edible glitter so it won't make a mess for my mom when she's in the tub because it just dissolves in water. And I'm going to have 1 teaspoon of that because I want a glitter bath bomb. Woo! Okay, let's mix all that up. Now that our dry ingredients are mixed, it's time for our wet ingredients. There's a lot of ingredients with bath bombs, so make sure you have a grown-up nearby to help. I'm going to ask my mom to microwave this coconut oil, it's a tablespoon of coconut oil, in the microwave for 20 seconds. Thank you, Mom. After our coconut oil, it's time for some lavender essential oil. That is always the ingredient for relaxation. And I'm gonna do 20 drops, so I'm just waiting a little bit. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. I'm going to add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients and pour. Pretty. Now I'm going to mix, actually not with a spoon, but with my hands. Ooh. This is so fun. Ooh, it's snowing. Use a spray bottle with witch hazel to add some moisture to your mixture. Witch hazel kind of smells good. So this is my test. If I take a fistful and squeeze it really tight in my hand, I have to see if it stays as a clump. And it does!
It's working! It's working! Yep! Sure is!
Okay, so I have some edible glitter right here, and I am going to put it around the mold so then I can have like it glittery on the outside. I'm rotating around the mold, so now it's glittery on the outside. Now that we have our glittery molds, I am going to take my bath bomb mixture and put it in the mold. I pat it down like that. You want to have it all filled up. You don't want to have holes and gaps in it. I have a bowl of diamonds here, And this is what I'm going to be putting in the mold. These resemble tiny diamonds because they're tiny and they're diamonds.
You see it now, don't you?
So this is going to be a surprise for my mom. She won't know it's in here. But you want to pick out something big enough that it won't go down the drain. Cover up the diamond. So, again, I'm just adding. Okay. There. Ooh, it fits. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Make sure you leave this in the mold for a few hours so it can harden and then pop it out carefully. Not only is this going to give my mom a great and relaxing bath, she's going to get a gift at the end of it, a pretty diamond. Now what are we waiting for? It's time to explode our glitter bath bombs. She's gonna love it. These make great gifts, and they will definitely blow anybody's mind.
Gonna give them something special that'll really blow his mind. Mind? Hold up. Is that even a word?
I had so much fun making this tiny diamond-inspired glitter bath bomb. If you want to get into the gift-giving mood, make sure to check out Trolls, Holiday in Harmony, which is out now.
Hey everyone, I'm Ryan from Baking with Ryan, and I'm going to show you how to make this super fun Trolls cake. I'll go through all the steps, including making ganache drips, Trolls bark, and a super easy frosting technique. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Here's the ingredients you'll need. First, you'll need 4 vanilla cakes. I've dyed 2 of them blue and the other 2 pink. You'll also want to have white chocolate chips, unsalted butter, salt, powdered sugar, heavy cream, and vanilla extract. The final ingredients are candy melts, sprinkles, and 2 Trolls figurines. The frosting that I'm using to make this cake is called an American buttercream. To make your American buttercream, start off by pouring 8 sticks of butter into the bowl of a stand mixer. Using a paddle attachment, cream together your butter until it's light and fluffy. Now that the butter is fully whipped, you can turn off your mixer. Before adding in any more ingredients, make sure to scrape down your paddle attachment and scrape down the bowl. Following that step, you can start adding in the powdered sugar. Unless you want a giant powdered sugar cloud, I don't recommend adding all 15 cups at once. I added in the powdered sugar in 7 installments. Each installment I added 2 cups of powdered sugar, and I mixed it up in between. To soften up the buttercream, I drizzled in some heavy cream. In the end, you'll only want to use about 2 tablespoons of cream, so make sure not to add too much. To cut through some of the sweetness, add in a couple pinches of salt. Lastly, scrape down your bowl and your buttercream is finished. This will go great on top of our cake. To fill the cake, I'll be using a piping bag fitted with an oversized piping tip. Fill up the piping bag with 1/3 of the buttercream. Now let's assemble the cake. First, I spread out some buttercream on the middle of the cake board. Then I place down one of my pink cake layers. This layer is going to represent Poppy. Again, using a piping bag fitted with an oversized piping tip, fill in the inside of your cake with frosting. After that, smooth out the frosting with an offset spatula. Next, place down a blue cake layer. This layer will represent Branch. Following that step, repeat the cake stacking process with your 3rd and 4th cake layers. Be sure to place on your 4th and final cake layer upside down. What this will do is ensure that the top of your cake is flat. Pipe any extra frosting that you have on top of the cake. Smooth out the frosting and give your cake a crumb coat. What a crumb coat is, it's a very thin layer of frosting that'll lock in all of the cake crumbs. Once the top is frosted, start applying buttercream to the sides of the cake. After you've completed your crumb coat, pop the cake in the fridge for 20 minutes. The next step is to make the troll spark. Start off by melting blue and pink candy melts. Make sure the candy melts are completely melted and there's no chunks. Place a silicone baking mat on a small sheet pan. Then spread out your blue candy melts using a small offset spatula. Make sure to leave a 1-inch gap between the candy melts and the edge of the pan. The next step is to evenly distribute pink candy melts on top of the blue. Now take the spatula and drag it through both candy melts. What this will do is give the troll's bark a marbled effect. To finish it off, decorate the bark with colorful sprinkles. Then, place your bark in the fridge for 10 minutes. To frost the cake, start off by fitting 2 decorating bags with round piping tips. Fill one bag with pink buttercream and the other bag with blue. Starting with the blue buttercream, make stripes of frosting going up the sides of the cake. Once you're halfway up the sides of the cake, start making stripes with pink frosting. In addition to the sides, cover the top of the cake in pink frosting. To smooth out the frosting, do the following steps. First, hold a bench scraper against the side of the cake. Then, start spinning the turntable. With time, the stripes will disappear and the colors will seamlessly blend. You'll also want to smooth out the top of the cake. Now place the cake in the fridge for 20 minutes. As your cake is in the fridge, let's make the ganache strips. Start off by pouring white chocolate chips in a microwave-safe bowl. Then drizzle over the heavy whipping cream. Microwave this mixture for 1 minute. After microwaving the ganache for 1 minute, stir it together. Microwave the ganache for 30 seconds more and then stir it one last time. Divide up the ganache between 2 bowls and color one bowl blue and the other bowl pink. Now mix in the food coloring. Using a measuring cup with a spout, pour each ganache into a squeeze bottle. Before dripping the ganache, make 2 markings on top of the cake. The first mark will divide the cake in half and the second mark will divide it into quarters. Start by filling 1/4 of the cake with blue drips. Hold the ganache over the edge of the cake and let it drip down the sides. The more pressure you use, the farther down the drip will go. Your finished drips should look like this. Next, fill the area that we marked earlier with white chocolate ganache. Following that step, drip ganache around the rest of the cake. To finish off the drip, fill in the remaining 2 areas with pink ganache. Now that you're done making the ganache strips, take your troll's bark out of the fridge and break it apart into small shards. The final step is to decorate the cake. First, place the poppy and branch figurines in the center of the cake. Then place on pieces of bark. Try not to place any bark in front of the figurines. Finish off the cake with some colorful sprinkles and you're done. All that's left is cutting the cake. This is my favorite part.
I'm here to show you how to make troll-themed slimes. One that's Sky Diamond theme and one that's Poppy theme. So let's get started. What you will need is a mixing bowl, 1 4-ounce bottle of white glue, a cup of warm water, borax, a teaspoon for measuring, and shaving cream. You will also need pink and violet food coloring. Acrylic paint will work as well. Also some fun embellishments of your choice, or even glitter that you can add for Poppy's color scheme. First step is to make your activator. Mix in 1 teaspoon of borax to 1 cup of warm water. Stir until it's completely dissolved. Next, empty out the glue into your mixing bowl. Make sure to get every last drop. Then add equal amounts of shaving cream. It doesn't have to be exact, but you can eyeball it. Stir until the 2 ingredients are well combined. Once combined, it should look like this. Then you're going to add your activator little at a time while stirring. This step is very important because you don't want to add too much. It might cause the slime to become too hard.
Once the mixture starts to look like this, don't add any more activator. Just keep stirring. Pretty soon, it will start to pull away from the bowl. Once it does that, you can go in with your hands. I know it's going to be sticky and messy, but just keep playing with it and then your slime will start to form. Also, get the rest of the slime out of the bowl. It'll start to stick to each other and eventually your bowl will become clean. Not so sticky after you play with it for a while. Look at it, it's so soft and fluffy. Now your slime is ready for coloring. Start off with the pink food coloring. You don't want to add too much, so it's best to gradually do this, which is why I'm using a toothpick to control the amount that goes on the slime. Fold the edges of the slime over the color to blend. This will prevent your fingers from getting stained. I have Poppy here as a guide to help me get the right shade for his skin while I add more color. Stretch and fold to blend. Now I'm going to add a bit of violet to achieve the right shade for Poppy's skin. Once Poppy's skin color is achieved, you can start to add color coordinating embellishments of your choice. I have these teal confetti similar to the color of her headband and necklace. I'm also adding chunky heart glitter, then I'm adding some magenta sequins like the color of her hair. You can add just about anything that you have on hand. Just have fun and be creative. Now this video wouldn't be complete without a little ASMR. Now it's time to play! This slime is so fun and so stretchy. Right here, I'm just adding more accessories to my Poppy themed slime. It looks so fun and festive. Poppy's totally having a great time. Next, I'm going to show you how to make Guy Diamond themed slime, like this one here. Doesn't it kind of look like him? So sparkly. Again, you will need a mixing bowl, something to mix with, one 5-ounce bottle of clear glue, and this time we are using a different activator, which is contact lens solution, as well as half a cup of warm water and 2.5 milliliters of baking soda. You can use half a teaspoon, but the empty medicine cup is what I had on hand to measure it out. To achieve Guy Diamond sparkly skin color, you will need fine glitter in white, holographic silver, silver chunky glitter, which is optional, teal glitter along with light purple glitter. When the white, teal, and light purple glitters are combined, we will then get the shade closest to Guy Diamond's skin color. First step is to make your baking soda water, which is needed when using contact solution for your activator. So pour in your baking soda in your warm water and stir until it's completely dissolved. Pour the clear glue into your mixing bowl. Again, make sure you get every last drop. Then pour in all of your baking soda water into your glue and mix until it's completely combined together. Now it's time to use your activator, so what you're going to do is gradually pour in your activator while mixing until it starts to form. Although it may seem like your slime isn't forming, just keep adding your activator little by little and stir. As you can see, the slime is starting to retract from the sides of the bowl. Once this starts to happen, I can now go in with my hands and start kneading. The more you play with it, it will start to feel like how slime's supposed to feel. It won't stick to your hands. Now it's time to add the glitter and color our slime. I'm going to add this glitter that I've already combined using those 3 colors. Pour the glitter right onto the middle. Fold over the edges of the slime like so. This method will keep the glitter from falling out and it will blend into the slime. Continue to fold until the glitter is evenly distributed. Now add the fine holographic glitter. Repeat the same method to blend it in. And here is our finished slime. Gotta include the ASMR. Whoa, it's so sparkly. Wow. It's extremely stretchy too. And I love how it's see-through. The glitter actually shows really well with a clear slime base. Let me just swirl it for you guys. Guy Diamond thinks that turned out great. He totally approves.
Hey guys, I'm Izzy. And I'm Lily. And today, we're going to show you how to make your own custom Trolls-inspired patches and put them on a phone case.
So let's get started. For this, you will need printed patterns, tracing paper, a pen, wax paper, an embroidery hoop, neutral scrap fabric, some acrylic paint, some paintbrushes, Mod Podge, a Sharpie, scissors, a clear phone case, colorful fabric, and a hot glue gun.
I'm going with a music theme, just like DJ Suki.
I'm going with a perfectly poptimistic Poppy theme.
Take your tracing paper and place it over your image. Trace using a Sharpie. Flip the tracing paper over to see the back of your design like this. Take the wax paper shiny side up and place it over your tracing paper design. Trace with a black Sharpie.
Draw an outline of the circle. Take your wax paper, shiny side facing down. Use your nail to press the imprint onto the fabric. Now repeat with the other designs. Next, brush the Mod Podge on top of your design. Place the fabric into the embroidery hoop.
Let this dry. Paint over the picture with Mod Podge.
Place your phone on your colorful fabric and trace the outline with a pen. Repeat this with a second colored fabric. Now cut across your fabric and glue them together.
Remove your fabric from the embroidery hoop. Place your patches however you like.
These turned out great. I love the little cupcakes. This is totally DJ Suki. I feel one with Poppy. Look at my little microphone with the rainbow. Oh, it's so cute. I know. Now that our phone cases are fly, I'm finally ready to start my DJ career. Ain't no party like a Trolls party!
I can't hear the music.
Oh, I should take off the headphones. DJing is hard.